G'day everybody and welcome back to the Hardball Gets AFL show. This podcast is proudly brought to you by the Mazda BT50. You do ute. Today on the show, it's the 2-minute warning out of round 7. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do that wherever you listen. Leave us a rating and leave us a review. All right, let's get stuck in. Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rynne, joined by Ryan Daniels and Xavier Ellis. What's going on, gentlemen?
Bits and pieces. Welcome back, Nicholas, for starters.
Thank you.
There's no vibe. The vibe's gone. He sucks all oxygen out of the room.
What do you mean?
Doesn't he just?
Out of the room?
I wish you got lost in Bow Desert.
I liked how, when I went away, I started to get credit for all my claims that actually came off. Everything seemed to start working.
Did you listen to the podcast
I did the first week. You know what I've noticed?
What?
Going away on holidays when you have 2 kids, you have less free time than when you're at home.
No, mate, there's no such thing as holidays. It's the worst idea in the world.
you're just doing the same stuff in a place without all your comfort items that you need to survive with children.
This is why I'm considering committing like a petty crime. So I'm actually doing a week in the lockup rather than going to Rottnest Island at the end of the year. So if you've got a car you want me to knock off or something,
you and Sydney Stack just spending Christmas in
together, and we'll sit there going, oh, how peaceful. And someone will go, oh, the beds aren't good. I'll say, try sleeping with 3 pricks in the bed with you that lie sideways. Anyway.
So you would have noticed that Robbo got pretty creative.
He did.
I know, I did notice this. And I noticed how, it's
not a
breath of
missionary
fresh
man.
air for you people.
It really was. He mixed up the teams.
Excited.
He did it on different things. Yeah, when he did the teams, it would be like, I've done them in order of youngest to oldest. I loved that. We very much loved it. It got us up and about. I noticed this week you've just gone, I'll just give you the teams that are playing against each other.
No, I just copy and pasted Robbo's ones from last week.
Really?
And just changed the names.
But they all played each other.
Are they? Well, this gave
me Hawthorn and Geelong. They played it. No, they didn't play each other. Oh, there goes that theory. No, you played me Geelong and Essendon. They played each other. You gave me Hawthorn and the Western Bulldogs.
Yep.
They played each other. And then you gave me North Melbourne and Melbourne, and they played each other.
Way too much.
Did your teams all play each other, Zave? Is that
the Giants played the Swans, correct.
Oh, I got Port Adelaide.
And that's it.
Mine's just a fluke. All right, I want to get into something first, and this is sort of on track from where we've been going. This is about you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you're next. You're next. So I got an email during the week. I had a couple of people reach out, and this is the thing: when people listen to this podcast, I think they see me as the sensible one, the calm one, the pillar of community that they can all come to.
They see you as a nerd.
They come to me.
You have makeup on.
Yep.
No, I just look like this.
Does he look like he's...
Do I look good?
Have you had... Hang on. Move your...
It's very matte.
Has he had Botox?
No, I haven't had Botox.
It's quite... let's keep it... Let's monitor
this. This is just what I look like.
Look at the roof. That's not moving.
There's not a lot of wrinkles there.
That's not moving. That's not moving a millimetre.
I love how he's trying to turn this on me.
He's had Botox.
I have not had Botox.
You have had Botox. You've done 1 year of news reading and now you're having Botox.
I can categorically deny.
What are you doing?
Is this part of the...
I have never and I will never.
What is wrong with you?
Look at what he's doing here. Spinning
turning
this.
It around.
Spinning this.
I would have started with the greys, to be honest, not the forehead. But Christ.
I can categorically deny ever having any.
All right, next time Rhino tweets, everyone just put a needle underneath his tweets.
We're going to get to that too, because there's been a development in the tweet phase. I've got so much to unpack here. We might not do the 2-minute warning today. So I got an email from somebody who started off with a lot of compliments for me. Yep, loves the paper, loves my pieces in the paper, agrees with them wholeheartedly.
How do they find the email, etc.? Out of interest.
It's on my profile, my Twitter profile. But then he's gone on, and his last comment in the email is also, Nick Rynne, how does he keep these high-profile slots on podcasts when he just waffles, talks rubbish, and babbles his way through the pods? And then he goes on.
Wow, what's next?
Nick Rynne, we should call
I can say this, knowing him well.
Who is this?
Okay.
Do you want to take a guess?
There's too
Going
many
to
people.
school with him? You went to school with this person?
Yeah,
Not a snezzer boy.
And he's kept in touch with you since then?
That's your mate. You know that bloke.
Yeah, old mate.
Adam Batt?
Bat did a pod for us.
Batsy.
No, we love Bat. We love Bat.
All right, now
That's
that's Nick covered for a minute.
Yeah.
Now we'll get to you. Starting, hold on. We were going to record yesterday. Remember, Nick? We were going to record the podcast.
We were going to record
yesterday. Monday. That's when the viewers, the listeners
and
love.
then what did you
Mondays.
have?
I had a meeting.
Well, yeah, but he
There
could
you
have
go.
kept the original time, and we had to.
No, he couldn't have in the end.
Well, he
No,
could,
no,
he, was,
could have.
he was so committed that he was still standing out there with 30 minutes.
The OG's 12:30.
No,
Yeah.
they're just 12.
Why did we have to
12 was ready to go.
I still
Anyway.
Why did we have to
Yeah,
cancel
yes.
yesterday, Xavier?
Why do we have to cancel?
Turns out Nick couldn't.
No.
Yeah, but no, he was going to make arrangements. We were out there waiting for you. What happened?
I just had a few bits and pieces.
What are your bits and pieces happening?
Well, Mick Barlow and myself,
Yeah.
we've got a little seven mate show happening. Yeah,
Well, he's got his own
Monday.
TV show.
Yeah.
He has gone to the point where we are standing
Grab it on
outside,
7plus if you
waiting like spare dicks.
Took a while to get on 7+.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
It did.
I'll speak
I was
to him
waiting
about
for it. Yeah.
He's gone national. This show's national.
As
on
someone-
7, mate.
No, look, mate, you can't help that.
As Connor
And do you know what the
Doherty,
only
Connor
issue-
Doherty said it was on Instagram, Zave went chips in on Mad Monday pretty quickly when I announced that we were pushing it back a day.
Oh, right. No, I would say the issue has been, I just had to sit down with Morena, the CEO, about it actually,
Okay.
was originally they were going to push Home and Away over to Mate. And move the big boys onto the heavy hitting channel. Here we go. Unfortunately, though,
Al Stewart
yeah,
cracked the
well, the
shits.
contracts it was like one of those ones, you know, where you lease a holiday house on an island, where it's like a 99-year lease.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Home and Away.
Was it Peppercorn?
Yeah, Home and Away's there now.
Good show, Home and Away.
No,
There'll probably
yeah.
be a crossover with the Mad Monday boys
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Home and Away. Like when they brought in the River Boys.
Yeah.
You know,
Mad
the
Monday
strong,
boys.
tattooed, muscly
And the
dudes
best
on the
part
beach.
is-
And then they bring in Zave and Mickey.
Yeah.
And they put them on the beach. It'll have the same impact.
They're doing a live show at the diner.
Yes. And also, it's amazing because on that show you can die 3 times and come back to life.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and
Because it was
you
your
do-
identical twin that got nailed. or
Well,
something.
or
Cheapest
you just
real
come back
estate.
to life, you look completely
Yeah,
different.
cheapest real estate in the country because no one wants to live there because you die.
Yeah, exactly
You
right.
either die or you're Alf.
Yeah.
Only like one person ever survives that.
Well,
job.
where's Flathead?
Maybe you die, you go see Rhinos, man, and you come back looking completely different.
Oh,
Right.
okay, and I'm not quite done yet.
I didn't know who I was dealing with early. That shocked me.
You've got to be kidding.
That's absolutely rocked me.
You've got to be kidding.
What,
Mate,
you have a little meal put in or
just
what?
had a good sleep.
Oh.
It's just what I look
Oh,
like.
yeah.
Okay, so we had Nick's mate reach out, and I've had somebody else reach out because, as I said, people come to me because I'm the pillar, I'm the
Right.
strength, I'm the,
Okay,
I'm the solid
yeah,
one.
right, yeah.
Okay. Hello, gents. I've got a scoop for you.
Oh, okay.
Xavier Ellis did go to Melbourne Grammar, but he is not a Melbourne Grammar boy. I'm from Zave's hometown. My family are good family friends with his family.
Ooh.
Now, as I said, he's not the posh grammar boy you might all
Thank
think,
you.
but he
Thank
did
you.
grow up on the nicest house, on the nicest street that overlooks the ocean in the nicest part of town. So he's not a little bit of a douche like you might think.
Thank you.
But he is a massive one. Buy me a Kit Kat later.
Okay.
Any guesses? Any
We
guesses
have-
on who might have sent this in?
Well, first of all, factually incorrect. The nicest house was the one next to us, which Dad also owns. But no, I'm joking. It's a joke.
Well, I won't give away the name because I'm not sure if he wanted it out.
Who was? Mate, my town's small.
Tom Duncan.
Oh, Tom Duncan.
Good
yes.
fella.
Yeah, Ripper guy.
Yeah, good fella.
Ripper.
And,
All right, I've
and
got
just,
one.
and
I've got
just
one
last,
here on
well,
you.
hold on, just lastly, you know the Kool-Aid thing? He started
Yeah,
drumming
yeah,
up.
yeah.
You know, every time I tweet,
The
people would put
sunnies
the
in the
ear.
ear.
And, yeah, well, do you know what's
They're
happened?
going to have to be good for you to win the flag from here.
There's a new trend
Right.
that's taken over.
Right.
So now every time I write a tweet that's got some information in it that's
A
new,
chocolate bar.
Yeah, a little clock and a chocolate bar. Kit Kat time.
Oh.
It's caught on.
Is this
like
just
it.
you? Have you just responded
No,
to your own
it's
tweet
just
with
it's
this?
happened. It's organically happened. I had nothing to do with it.
Must have
wow,
been a
mate.
while ago. We haven't had a story for a bit, right?
I'll just they're coming
what's the
thick
one-
and fast.
Dom Sheed likely to return.
Yeah, there you go.
Haven't seen any.
They can't all be huge.
That's not a Kit Kat.
No.
No, that's not. That doesn't register.
But if you were already eating a Kit Kat, you might break me off one of the sticks.
Nah, I'd offer. It'd be a blank offer. I'd offer you if I got four. If I got 4 fingers, I'd go. Oh, mate, do you want a finger? And I'd expect you to say no.
Oh, I gotcha.
You just offer it.
I wouldn't.
It's so it's like a 10% Kit Kat.
Yours would be all melted. You'd have it all over your hands. It'd be a whole thing.
Oh, not
Yeah.
long enough to melt there.
What do you got? Come on, throw me.
Hi, my name is. I'll leave the
You're
name out of
making
it.
this up.
Yeah, g'day.
Your mate Rhino.
boys.
Your
His
mate
phone's
Rhino's.
black.
Your mate Rhino's a cockhead.
Guess who it is?
Anyone else has got any?
Do
Just
you want to know his name?
Just keep them coming, guys. Just hit me up, slide in. I'm always open for information.
Wowee. All right, 2-minute warning time. Well, okay, hey, now I've got to come up with some kind of fancy way to go through the teams here.
I wouldn't overcomplicate it, Nick, to be honest.
All right, well, let's
You're
go.
a meat and potatoes man.
Yeah,
Should we
you
go
are.
bottom up? Let's go bottom up.
Let's do that.
whatever.
All right, bottom
Yeah,
up.
that's
Let's kick it off
creative.
with West Coast.
Hey, before we start the time up, did we see Hawthorn trolling West Coast with the TikTok social media thing?
No.
It was like, those transitions, from like getting dressed to you, casuals to your suit on. It's like,
Right.
Get ready with me.
They did a transition of the ladder when Hawthorn went above West Coast on the weekend.
Yeah,
That
right.
had like 70,000 likes on it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, like a soft troll.
Maybe you had to be there.
Yeah.
Who we
So,
going?
All right.
West Coast. So West Coast on the bottom.
West
That's
Coast are on
me.
the bottom of the ladder.
The bleed for just in response to Hawthorn there, the bleed for Reid is well and truly on. West Coast now bottom of the ladder with 64.3%. Hawthorn same win 65.1%. Do we see this probably holding from here?
Hawthorn are better than the others next to them. Hawthorn
I
are better
think
than
so.
North Melbourne. Hawthorn are better than West Coast.
But I think West Coast is staying. It's going to be very tough ask for them to get off the bottom, right?
The problem for West Coast is going to be, and they might get creative here. And they got a little creative last year with guys like Oscar Allen missing the year. If he was playing in a grand final, maybe he could have played, but he didn't.
But how many people would roll if they finish at the bottom again?
What do you mean, West Coast?
Yeah, so they've got to shut up shop to finish.
You know what?
bottom.
You'd have to shut up shop
Yes.
because you're going to get, if things are on track, like they say, you're going to get Nick Natanui back, Jeremy McGovern back, Elliot Yeo back,
they're not
all
coming
around
But people are playing for their
in
careers.
about 4 or 5 weeks.
People are playing for their careers, and staff are surviving for their lifestyles, essentially.
Yeah, so you think they
So-
need to go and try to finish
Well, you
3
have to,
spots
otherwise
higher.
there's going to be 10 people sacked, and
It's about the greater good. The greater good is to, get Harley Reid.
Yeah, the greater good's not someone else's livelihood, though.
Well, you get but it's sacrificing.
But I
for
don't
No,
know.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I
Greater
can't
good.
imagine anyone sitting there going, in the medical staff going, no worries, let's leave McGovern, Nick Nat, Shuey.
Yeah.
Let's leave all them out for I can't imagine Simo going, let's leave them all out for I know he's contracted, but his mates aren't.
Yeah, I think if you get the problem for them is they might sneak a win or two if they get everyone on the park.
You've
So-
just got to look like you're trying, right? But I still don't. Do they? Like,
Well,
do
they're gonna-
they sneak a win or two?
So
for
they
them back?
play Hawthorn in Tassie, I think,
Hawthorn
is
will win
coming
that.
up. Hawthorn
Yeah,
should
no,
win
yeah,
that. You
That's
think
not even close.
they've got a game at Optus against North Melbourne? No guarantee, but that's a winnable game.
Yeah. Not with what they've got now, no, it's not.
Yeah,
North
how quickly
Melbourne
they
are
will
pretty
come
bad
up.
too, mate.
They've got 16 or 17
North Melbourne are very ordinary too.
they've got 16 or 17 players that they would have thought would be waffle all year.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But if they get numbers back for that game,
Yeah,
it's
that
winnable.
depends what the time frame is. Yeah.
So who finishes last?
If the
Well,
team that
is that
they
your
put out,
question?
if the team
Yeah.
that they put out on the weekend plays the season, it's West Coast.
Yes, I agree. But I don't know if that's going to be the case.
I still think even those guys coming back, like, you're not coming back at 100%.
you might pinch a game.
Yeah, but you probably
might
beat.
you only
North,
need to win 4 to not finish last.
4.
They've
They're
won.
fighting for 2 or 3
Yeah.
these days. 4, hang on.
Well, Hawthorn.
Oh, that's me. Okay. Firstly, I want to say another tip of the cap to Ned Reeves.
Yes.
That's his second good game in a row.
Most hits to advantage
Yeah.
in the round.
We
I
like
think.
him. I feel for Lloyd Meek because Lloyd's
He went over there thinking
left
number
Fremantle going, right, well, there's no point staying
Yeah.
here if Luke Jackson and Sean Darcy are here.
We
And
made the right
rightfully
move leaving, yeah.
And then he's gone to Hawthorn thinking, this might open up. But Ned Reeves has shown a little bit in the past, and he's the CEO's son, which
Yeah.
kind of helps. It can't hurt you, right?
Well, I can.
Well, maybe
If
if
you
you're
can
terrible.
turn to
Yeah,
shit.
if you're terrible. But he isn't. Like, he looks pretty good. So,
And Hawthorn number 1 for clearances and stuff around those centre backs.
is that
and
right?
stuff,
Yeah, well, that's great.
Yeah.
Mitchell Lewis, geez, he looked fantastic.
Will
Didn't kick
Day
straight,
back
but
in,
his
hasn't
hands.
missed a beat.
I'm starting to get pretty pumped by Hawthorn.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going down
What's your time frame?
4 years.
4 years. Yeah.
The one I want to talk, and this is me eating a little bit of humble pie, but I'm still a
say it.
believer.
Say it.
Now, I'm still a believer, but I don't understand what's happening with Jack Scrimshaw. Like,
Neither do I.
so they won't put him in the team.
He's
He's
the
been named
sub.
the sub twice.
It's Graham Birchall
Like,
back there.
isn't he better than a bunch of dudes in that team? Is
Who?
it just me? I don't know. I have to go through the list,
Yeah.
but surely he's not outside their 22.
How old is old Scrimmer?
He's 25.
25.
He's probably
so
not even
7
that,
years.
yeah.
8
Surely
years.
another AFL club could use Jack Scrimshaw.
Oh, they could. No, I agree with that.
I'd be
Gold
s-
Coast.
well, any,
Yeah.
yeah. ironically. Look, I just think he's a better player than this sub. But obviously, Sam Mitchell sees it in a different way because he's now had the round one side. He was injured, so he didn't play. And if people thought he just hadn't been picked, he was dealing with some stuff. He had an illness, but he's been able to be picked a couple of times. And
where does he play?
Halfback. He's a halfback.
So CJ the DJ.
So they've gone CJ over him.
Yeah,
prioritised him. Hardwick plays down
Hardwick's
back.
a good player.
He's
more of a back pocket type.
So they want CJ to be the one who bounces out, and that sort of scrimshaws up.
Yeah,
kicking out of the back.
But Sicily takes a lot of that footy. Like, that's the thing, right? Ideally, Scrimshaw.
Impey's down there. Morrison's sort of a wing half back.
And Impey's been playing quite well.
The Frosty, he's there.
How is he one-on-one, like as a defender, Scrimshaw?
He's okay.
Yeah,
I don't think he's like the best.
They want to bounce out rather than kick out.
How have we not spoken about the best player in the league, though?
It's about Will Day?
Connor Nash.
Why did I see that? Is that a headline today? He's like unbelievable, jump to the top of the was.
Oh, I don't know, but I've called him the new Chris Judd.
We've got Shannon back at the producer desk, and I forgot that every time she looks at me like, don't move. Like, I touch my mic.
Oh, you touch everything?
She's got us.
Back. Shannon's back. She's whipped out her shawl.
She's pumped to be here, been reading all the WhatsApp messages and everything.
Yeah. Definitely didn't mute it.
Richmond.
I've got Richmond. They're obviously in a hole at the moment. They've got injuries like the Eagles. Older players injured. Believe it or not, that's what happens. Tarrant, Lynch, Nank, off the top of my head, whatever. Anyway, but they're now going to suffer from what we've just spoken about with West Coast in terms of I'm not convinced of their kids. So on the weekend, names like Young, Ryan, Sonsi, Clark, Cumberland I am. Cumberland's a bit of a...
I like Clark and Sonsi.
Yep. Yeah, no, I like them, but I'm not...
They're not sure things.
I'm not nailing my future to them.
Yeah.
Where are they as just as lost as any club in the competition, Richmond, at the moment, with 7-year deals on... I can't believe seven. How did that get past me without having a meltdown on a podcast?
I don't think we were doing the pods at that point.
Yeah.
But look,
I would have come in and I just smashed the place.
Emergency pod, 2 minutes.
I just would have snapped the microphone and just walked off.
They've gone in... So I think we talked about this a bit last year, about how there's certain clubs that are trying to do the thing that you never go down. Right? Geelong, Sydney, and Richmond, right? And
Doesn't work that often.
Richmond getting Taranto. If you can do it, you can pull it off, great. It looks fantastic. But there has to be risk attached to it too. And the risk attached is that you bring in... Taranto and Hopper are really good players.
They're probably their two best players.
Yeah. So they haven't failed.
Sydney have always done it with the contingency of their academy in the back.
Well, they've still been able to have kids coming through.
They know they've got good kids.
Yeah, exactly. So they haven't had to worry as much as other clubs.
Like
Geelong's probably the model that Richmond's trying to follow.
Yeah.
The big Nank's turning 29, and he's like the younger of the lead across Cochin, Tarrant, the ones I just mentioned. I don't think they're a final. I thought that I was big on them this year. I thought they had a chance to sneak a flag.
This year, no, they can't. I mean,
no. But then where are they?
Then you're tough.
Then Jack's gone, Cochin's gone.
If you're not drafting well the next 3 years, you're cooked.
But also, if you're not going to get anything from those players in the first 3 years, really.
Yeah.
Well, they're not drafting anyway because they've traded everything.
Oh, true.
But so they've got to try and get people in. How in the dickens is that going to happen? I mean, Rewalt and Cochin aren't on a great.
There's no more assets.
No.
North Melbourne.
That's me. I'm very confused about the order now.
This is why we stick to the same thing.
He doesn't look confused. I'll give you the tip.
This is unbelievable. He looks more like he's had Botox than me. Look how shiny that dome is.
Did you use the rash cream I gave you?
Oh, it's on my desk. I haven't used it yet.
Whack it on that.
Whack it on, yeah. How much rash cream do they send you?
He's got a lot of rash cream.
Funnily enough, 15 bottles turned up at work today.
He loves it.
And I'm on their website, which is a bit naughty, but anyway. I'm their promoter.
How did I miss this?
Sorry.
North Melbourne. We don't need to talk too long about North Melbourne. The rot is setting in. 208 points in their last 3 games combined.
It's team too, in terms of like team age being put out there.
Yeah.
It's in the top 6.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about. So Hall coming back into that team, he's getting a lot of the footy again, but it's not really doing anything. Shields has been one of their better players, but I'm not sure that's good for them. Cunnington was great on the weekend. He hasn't had a great season.
He sparked up since he was subbed off.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he needed that.
A little bit.
And I thought Zeebel's actually had a pretty good year. But there's guys...
Zeebel's been good for them in multiple ways.
So has Shields. So these guys haven't been bad.
Yeah.
It's just, is it the best thing for them to have... So the guys, I had a look at their VFL side from their most recent VFL game. George Wardlaw was still building. He's injured. He's banged up now, but he was building, so he was probably going to be next in. But guys like Miller, Bergman, Blake Drury, There's a guy named Ellie Ford. Callum Dawson was the guy they took at number 2 in the preseason draft, mid-season draft last year.
Is Josh Goater in the side, the AFL side at the moment?
Goater's in the side, I believe. I think.
He certainly was.
He was to start. Flynn Perez, who I kind of liked last year. So these guys are all running around in the 2s.
Yeah, Goater's 2s.
Yeah, right. Goater's in the 2s as well.
I like Goater.
I feel like these guys should be in the 1s. If you're getting belted by 80 points, 100 points, whatever it is, please play the kids, right?
I think, Clarko hasn't had a full go yet, I wouldn't have thought. There was a fair bit going on when he got the role, the list and all that
You've been
stuff.
big that he's going to do the clean out this year.
Well, I just
can't
look
you
at,
start doing it now and play these guys?
Well, I just look
Why are you playing Hall over Goater?
Hang
Or
on.
Bergman?
Hang on. Will Kane Turner be there next year?
Kane Turner, I looked up, he's like 27. He's not as old as
he
you.
only
Yeah, no, I know that, but
Yeah.
is he going to play the flag?
No.
And that's what
only if
Clarko
he's
messes
like,
it on.
hey, Kane, you're going to be our shutdown guy, but time-wise, no.
Like Stevenson, Griffin Logue's playing forward. Like he got absolutely walloped. So commentary over East was like he's playing like a man who signed a big contract.
Well, the commentary was that he's fat.
Yeah, Goldstein.
Griffin Logue's fat. Can I please be fat? I'd like to be fat.
Like Goldstein. Then you go Daniel Howe, Curtis Taylor, Darcy Tucker, Aiden Core. Like I can see a world that they're all on the chopping tail. Like, Liam Shields, of course.
There's a lot of cleaning to do. A lot.
And but is there a little bit? I think they have got more players with a little bit of value that they might see.
There's a couple there that I do like.
That I think Clarko might go. They're not going to be in our grand final team.
Yeah.
See ya, but we'll take a second round pick back for you.
Seconds, yeah.
Fremantle. So I'm not sure how they were never going to beat Brisbane at the Gabba, but it looked like. The game on the weekend with Fremantle reminded me of the movie Hook when Peter Pan's trying to remember how to fly.
No.
Have you seen the movie Hook?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
No.
You actually haven't seen the movie Hook?
Oh, you've missed out. It's
all-time
really good.
classic, mate.
I put it on for the kids. I watched it with the kids about
I'm
3
stunned.
months ago, and I thought they're not going to watch this. They watched the whole thing, didn't move off the couch.
It's on TV like every week.
Equal parts hilarious and scary for kids. You know,
Robin Williams.
Try it.
Hook.
Yeah, it's great.
You've never seen them film Hook?
Yeah, Robin Williams.
Gene, not Gene Hackman.
All I can say is
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman.
It was his podcast last week when I said when Robin Williams died, I was in San Fran and went to his house. There, where the movie was.
Yeah,
Went to-
and the story was as interesting now as it was back then.
Went to the
You look
Wakes.
interested. Those
You've never
eyebrows.
seen Hook. Never seen the movie Hook. Anyway, it was like that. It wasn't going to work for them, but they were trying, and they were slowly. You could see the wheels turning over in their head. Like if they just
The handball stuff.
the handball, so just to move the ball stuff. Like if you
Yeah.
mark the ball in the back line, move it.
So-
Giving it to a running past Hayden Young every time
Chatting to
turns into good things.
Barry yesterday, he had a theory which I think holds up a little bit. You go into the Gabba against Brisbane. It's not like you're going thinking we won't win or we can't win, but you're up
What are the
against
odds?
it,
Yeah.
right? But you've got to start doing the work. So if you go to that game and you're right, we'll just take the game on at all costs. We might win, we might lose. You're preparing almost for what comes next. So are you trying to just change so that you get things moving in the right direction regardless of whether it comes off or not?
Well, they needed to change.
You're probably the right guy to ask about that. Do you start doing things that you're like, right, this may make us worse in this game, but in a week or 2 or 3...
No, well, you can't fix it now. You're cooked.
I'm not talking about
No,
them
but
playing
like,
finals,
but like 3 weeks and
is
stuff.
it better
you
for when
can't-
you're playing Hawthorn this week?
No, I think they just rely on being a better team than they're there now. Their game plan and style is not going to help them win a game. They're just relying on talent in games now.
For the rest of the year.
I would say, yeah. Because remember last year we were like, gee whiz, they're defending this way, and that's all fantastic. Well, that's part of like the game plan defence. We know that helps now. Now it's talent and good luck. Like handle it to Hayden Young, go make it up. That's nothing to do with the game plan. That's just Hayden Young running with it,
Being a
making it
very
up.
good player.
Or is it utilising him better? Like, because I thought it was a clear direction.
Give it to Hayden
We
Young.
haven't, and we've talked
it
about
was a
this.
clear direction.
We haven't had enough of Hayden Young in our
But you know what
system,
they
so
did?
we need to get more Hayden Young in.
They fumbled it every time.
Yeah,
Any
that
time
was a
speed
problem.
was attached, they fumbled it.
Every time they stuffed it
The only
up.
bloke that didn't fumble it was a bloke who used to play at Freo.
Oh, Locke.
Locks
Oh,
and
yeah.
Hill. Wow.
Tell you what, can we extend?
Oh, shit.
Brr. I'll tell you what, if that trade had ended up going through, do you feel, imagine locking you in that side, right? And if he goes into that side, there's probably some other stuff that doesn't happen. I don't know if it impacts
Luke
Jackson.
Jackson.
I'm not sure it does. I think there's still a world where they could have done it, but just made the salaries work. But how much better are Fremantle with Lockie Neal in that
Well,
side?
I've said the whole time that they're a star. That their midfield, they still need a star better than what they've got.
Put him in there. Are you,
Yeah, he's the. No,
that's it.
they're not winning. No, it's not his.
It unlocks everything.
Who's kicking the goals?
Well, just
Yeah, well, this is still a problem.
well, you just
That's still the problem.
Yeah.
still a big problem.
Yeah.
still a
It's not
really
doing
big
anything.
problem. So it makes them a slightly better team.
But didn't Ryan say at the start of the year they were getting Aaron Norton and Mitch Georgiades?
I didn't say exactly.
Nah, I've actually
Strongly
heard.
hinted.
I heard something about someone from the Rockingham region the other day.
about Aaron.
Oh, really?
Well,
What'd you hear?
I love how he's like trying to jump on this now. I've been
Yeah.
on this for like a year.
I heard nothing. I heard nothing. From my good friend Matt Spanger, who's the forward line coach down there, I hope he stays.
Yeah,
That's all I've heard.
I think it's more
he a
likely
forward
than
line?
unlikely that he stays.
Oh, God, I thought you meant Carms. I was like,
No,
mate,
no.
how
It's-
come
it's
you're not...
always been a long
That's
shot.
a Kit Kat. Get going on that one.
I'm trying.
Yeah, okay,
I'm
good.
working
Keep
it.
going.
Keep working.
Who's you got at the Bulldogs?
No, I'm not. you just shush.
All right. Blow the hooter.
Gold Coast. So that's me.
Jeez, I've had no team.
You're coming up, but you got the good ones, obviously. They're going okay. I don't know. How do we
I'll
feel?
tell
there?
you what, it's so ordinary, isn't it? Can we get Robbo back next?
I know.
What are you the ones talking about changing the order? Everything?
Can we at
Mate,
least get
just stick
Robbo to
the
like
facts.
organise
Yeah,
it? and
just
then
give
you
us a theme, and then you can just
come
read
in.
a name.
Yeah, well, that'll be good. If you're Robbo, if you're listening to this, and please send me the list.
Is your
next
head
week, that'd be
whiter
great.
than steel side bottoms or not?
white? No, he's got a very white head.
White.
Yeah,
no,
he
no,
avoids
crazy
the sun
white.
at all.
Yes.
I did cut it.
He lives
Only
in-
second
I can see.
time. Yeah,
lives out in
cut it.
Swanbourne. He's in the sunny part of
Down
the
to
world.
the beach, mate.
Yeah,
Running
right.
along the beach in my speedos.
Are
every
you
morning.
Swanbourne or North Claremont?
Mount Claremont. Well, no, right on the border actually. The
Yeah,
border's our
so, no,
street.
don't worry about
I'm
the
Swanbourne.
border.
I'm actually Swanbourne.
Are you Swanee?
Yeah,
There you go.
big times. Just as a highway between me and the real
We
Swanbourne.
can go Eggy's joint. I know which one it is.
It's the big one.
Noah Anderson.
Yes.
So I don't know what the hell happened the first 3 weeks.
he
where
was on sleeping tablets.
He was nowhere near
Nah.
it. And then he bounced out and had 38, 25 and 2, 32 and 1, like 7, 6, 8, 9 clearances.
Yeah.
This is who we thought he was. I just don't understand.
Some players start
What happened?
slow. They do. Like if you look at their history, like I think we looked at Anderson, and last year
It
he was the
wasn't
same.
It wasn't slow. It was non-existent.
Yeah.
almost. Like, it was-
Catatonic.
No,
Yeah.
he started slow because he was running slow. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he had those black boots. He just looks slow.
Has he changed the boots?
Don't know, but he just looks
like
so
he might
slow.
have.
Yeah, you reckon
The
he's
hair's,
got
the
something?
hair's grown out.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like Samson. Every
Yeah.
inch the hair grows.
Yeah,
a little
he
bit
gets
more
that.
powerful.
He gets that pre-round 1 haircut, and it
Yeah,
ruins
no,
it.
yeah.
So next year, just let it out, mate.
I don't know what his contract status is, but he's got an 8+ coming his way.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, he's very good. You know what he does? He works really hard to get to that open space.
Yeah.
He's really good inside too, and he's really quick. But he
then he
also
spreads.
he's just like, how is Noah Anderson open again?
I'll tell you who helps him. His bloody mate.
Rao.
Matt
Yeah.
Rao.
That's a great one too. They were really good on the
We
weekend.
just always thought it would be the other way around.
Yeah, no, we thought that Noah Anderson would do the tagging
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
scrapping or the hard.
Turns
Yeah.
out he's the
I hope
star
they
and-
stay together because
Well,
they work so well
I
together.
can't see them going anywhere.
No, I
know
don't
that's-
think so either.
They just look like Gold Coast players to us.
Yeah.
It's funny how still don't know what's going to happen to that club. There's
Do you
still
know-
like a
Will
big
Ben, will
sort
ben,
of
King
malaise.
will Ben King be there?
Oh, that's a big question.
Hasn't he signed? Didn't he sign another?
No, but it was only like a 2-year thing.
Oh,
Like, so I
okay.
think at the end of next year, he's probably out again. Do you know, the crazy thing is, if you just, and this is never going to happen, obviously, but if you just put the MCG on the Gold Coast, no one would ever leave because it's unbelievable up there. It's so beautiful, like the beaches, the lifestyle,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
It's just that
I
they don't
don't-
play in front of anybody.
You couldn't pay me to live on the Gold Coast.
No,
Yeah,
but
I'm
if
not a
you're
big
playing in
fan
front of
of Gold Coast.
100,000,
I'm not
have
a
you
Gold
been up
Coast
there
fan.
recently?
Yeah, I'm
Where?
not a Gold Coast.
I'd have to have property in the hinterland or something. I'm not living on the Gold Coast.
You don't want to live.
I'm not living
You don't
on the
want to
Gold
live in
Coast.
surfers' paradise.
No, but
there's
even
lots of
down like
Nah.
Tweed.
Burley and all that. You don't
Nah,
like that?
leave me out of it.
There's shit
Yes,
too many
really?
people. Yeah,
Yeah, it sums this bloke up.
yeah. He wants to be the glitz and the glamour.
Yeah,
Good Botox
Yeah,
clinics
good-
over there.
there's plenty of
Real
Botox
good.
clinics.
You can get it for cheap. They do like stuff where you get 9 and then you get the 10th one free.
Yeah, this is now we know
This
how the
is
hub went.
have you put a bit of spray or something on?
There's nothing.
It's
Really
the
nothing.
Botox. We know it's the
GWS.
Bowies. Oh, I've got the Giants. Well, let's start with a guy who we speak about often when we talk about them, Toby Green.
Oof.
Now, I want to do. I think we forget him a little bit like Park the MCG on the Gold Coast. I tend to watch a lot of Giants games. I'm the biggest sucker for the Giants
Yeah.
ever, and of course got the son there playing, so it's good to catch up on how he's
Of course.
going. But I want to do a quick Toby Green. Who would you rather?
Okay,
Right now,
I feel like I know my answer for every question.
all right, here we go. So I'm coming off the Coaches Association votes currently.
Give me the context. Do I want him for a game? Do I want him for building a team? What
this
am I
year,
doing?
this year,
Just for the
Yep,
year?
you're swapping them
Okay,
in.
okay, go.
Nick Dacos.
Toby Green.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Toby.
Marcus Bontempelli.
Bond.
Well, this is where I'm. Yeah, I'm probably.
Give me Bond.
by a 0.5%, I'll go Toby just because. No, I'll take Bond. You take Bond.
We'll get some more emails from that.
Yeah.
Jeremy Cameron.
Cameron.
Yeah, Jezza. Petrarca.
I'll take Petrarca.
I'd probably take Green.
Yeah, I'm taking Green. Danger.
Green.
Then it's Toby Green on the coach's votes, which surprised me that he's up that high. Clary Oliver.
Whoa.
It depends on the makeup of my team, but I think give me Toby.
Toby.
Yeah, Toby.
And then we'll go Jordan De Goey.
Toby.
Yeah, Toby.
Jordan Dawson.
Oh, here you go, Rhino.
I can't do it.
Toby.
Dawson.
Toby. Chad Warner.
Toby. Chad Warner that high in the coaches?
Yeah, now the last couple. Lockie Neal.
Toby.
Paddy Cripps.
Toby.
Keeping in mind, the team I put together would win no games.
And last but not
it'd
least,
be fun. It'd be
last but not least, Zach Merritt.
Toby.
Toby.
It's funny. Can you imagine it? Yeah, I had to throw Merritt in there. I just found it at the bottom. Can you just imagine if he was playing at Collingwood?
Toby, he'd be a rock star.
I think
how big would he be in Melbourne?
Kept GWS more relevant than anyone in the past decade.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Toby.
He's their greatest player, right? That they've ever had?
Israel Folau's pretty good for a few games.
I know they haven't been around forever. But
Dean Brogan.
But it's him.
He's their best
it's Toby, isn't it?
I think he's clearly the one that got into that top 10.
Yeah.
Who else got into that top 10?
Cameron never quite.
I know he won at Coleman.
Was there a year of Cornelio?
Kelly and Cornelio had moments where it looked like it.
I think Toby consistently.
Tom could do it. Your boy. Eventually.
Just needs a trick.
Yeah. Well,
does he?
You need to give him one.
I'd love him to kick 30 goals a year or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Just something that separates him from the mids.
He's pretty good already.
He's brilliant.
He's not bad.
This is typical, the dad doesn't
always fighting for dad's approval.
Billy Brownless, when his son Oscar was trying to get drafted or whatever, and at halftime he was having a quiet day, and Oscar looked at Billy for advice, and Billy goes, "You've just got to be better," and walked off.
Sydney Swans.
Tom Green rings out. Oh, Dad, I had 38.
Yeah, how many
15
goals?
Clearances and 13 tackles. Did you kick a goal?
No.
Oh, no, but I said no.
I'd say how much money you got.
Be better.
All right, we've got Sydney Swans. Okay, last year's grand finalists. How are we feeling about these Swannies right now? Because in the home and away season last year, they conceded 100 points in 3 games. Up to 7 rounds this year, they've already conceded over 100 3 times.
Not thrilled.
I think they've been quietly, we talked about this briefly last week, quietly decimated by injuries.
Yeah, they have
Paddy McCartan, Dane Rampy, Tom McCartan.
The other McCartan,
And it's all in the one area. It's like their back line.
Yeah.
Plus, I think they're better when Hickey's
I like
Adams
Amadi.
was pretty good on the wing.
I'm a Marty man.
Amadi's injured
Marty's
as well.
cool.
Low key, I reckon, and he's played, they look dangerous. But
Yeah, there's something off. I don't feel as good about him as I did last year.
yeah, I just not like Luke Parker was exceptional. Goulden, Chad.
It's funny because Goulden's gotten to let's say 30% better.
Yeah.
Goulden was pretty good on the weekend.
Chad Warner
was very good.
Is as good as he. Maybe
Better,
he take a half step.
No, he's better.
Better in some games.
Yeah, some games he's definitely been better.
Yeah, and then there's this other guys who like Logan is probably 5-10% better.
Logan's
a lot of
gonna be a
people
slow
have
burn.
a lot of people have got better, but the team hasn't.
Yeah, I think that I'm more in the camp of Oz Horse that I go, righto, I'm just concentrating on the forward half. I'm going to have my Callum Mills, just don't worry about being a spare man in defence or playing in the back line. You're the centreman. Luke Parker, sorry, Earl Goulden, you're good, you're half forward, you're coming up, come to stoppages.
Yeah.
And just try and dominate that way and just get it inside 50 because they're sort of spreading like their talent everywhere. But I don't reckon they get to a contest with the best talent available, if that makes sense.
Well, because they're just plugging holes.
Well, they're plugging holes everywhere, and they're plugging them with stars. I don't know. I'd love to go, righto, this week our best 6 players are in the midline, and then we just get it forward and see what happens.
I was going to say, everyone's up at the 50 and then kick it over the head of Tom Papley and get him to run towards goal.
Yeah, Pagan's paddock for Pappers.
Yeah. Western Bulldogs.
I think that's me. It's hard to know. Jason Johannesson back at halfback where he belongs. One of Norm Smith there. He looks great there. It's funny sometimes when you play people in their best spots, they play
Kinda
pretty
works.
well. Bailey Williams too. Shout out to Bailey Williams.
He's getting forward, the sneaky bugger.
He's having a really good season. We watched him here when they played the Dockers, and I was like, far out. I've always kind of liked Bailey Williams.
I reckon we're getting confused with Bailey
Dale.
Like Bailey Dale gets all the credit.
He does get all the credit.
Caleb Daniel gets all the credit.
Do you know Bailey Dale for years, him and Jack McRae look so similar. Like when
Thought they
they
were the same
move,
person.
they're like these sort of skinny, like, you know, pasty kind
Yeah.
of. I'd watch Jack McRae and it was Bailey Dale. Like I'd get confused. all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And they had the 31 and the 11. So when you watch them,
See the one.
yeah.
Would you be one of those people then, like tweeting champion data? Yeah, Sarah
Yeah, yeah.
tackles.
You know what? You know why they do that?
Fantasy points.
Or punt.
And punting.
Yeah.
And the punt.
Yeah.
Yeah, the punt.
I mean, if you missed a possession or a disposal and you won short, of course
You're a bit
emailing.
upset.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure I sit on the Western Bulldogs. I think they're just okay.
Yeah, they're
I
just
think
okay.
they've got some really good talent.
They are the biggest mixed breed of
Yeah.
talent, young,
Yeah.
talent, old,
And
not
the-
old like the Boggy
Mid,
Pelly
yeah.
ages,
Yeah.
but they probably need one or two of the young kids to be the stars that they think they can be now, not in 5 years.
Yeah. I just feel like they're very much in a similar way to Carlton. There's some real high end stuff
Just doesn't
and
Yeah.
a lot of making up the numbers.
Well, we don't
stuff.
talk about Carlton on my one, but I don't know. Like, I love Taylor Duray and those guys, but it's great that they.
Well, Rhino wants to kill it. He's over the Dogs.
I'm done.
Done with them. Sorry, Tay. I was going to pump you up.
You play with him?
Yeah, Ripper. Yeah. He's the lesser named players that I think need to go up for Dogs to be
Next.
premiership.
Essendon.
Sorry, doggies.
That's unfair.
Why you hate the Dogs?
Why do you hate the Dogs? I don't want to talk
Didn't
about it
you
because he
call-
knows.
I
'Cause he
just-
knows I'm going to dive into. I was going to dive into the Norton
I
stuff.
was going to say, what happened to that Friday night Fremantle Western Bulldogs? I can confidently say that's the only time your face has been on a television in Beaudesert in the history of the town. Popped up. I'll check 7, mate. Here he is, popped up.
Huge in both.
Look at that.
Started because
Look at
it's
that
so
shiny bloke.
It's so late.
Did you?
Yeah.
Put it on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
late.
Before you
10
watched
days or
it, did
something.
you have to get a rag out and clean off the red dirt?
there's no red dirt. Red
'cause
dirt's
it's
over
so-
here, mate.
'cause
The
it's
soil's
so-
great in Beaudesert.
Because it's so rural out there.
No,
Oh, mate.
How
Soil's
long
Middle
great.
of
drive. Where do you
nowhere.
fly to? Alice?
Brisbane.
It's on one of those like Royal
Was it a long
Flying
drive? Flew
Doctors
into-
planes though, because they can't get a normal aeroplane out there because there's no tarmac.
Oh, it's amazing.
Because it's
Mate,
so remote.
the journey.
He was just sitting there with a bit of straw, chewing on it. With his
Had to whack the aerial a few times. Who are we talking? Essendon. That's you.
Is it?
Didn't you say it was you? Who's got Essendon?
That's right. Jeez. Strange game, that one. Like, Geelong, we're never going to lose it, right? They jumped
Nah.
out. They were massive lead. Half-time, they win up by 44. They still win by 4.5 goals, which ruined my 40-plus. But that's not the point. They're ninth, the Bombers.
Yeah. Oh, I think they're going better than what?
Do you think they get back into the 8 at any point?
Nah, but I reckon every game they're competitive.
So their next 6, I had a look, and I was like, Port, I'd be tipping Port.
Yeah.
Brisbane, I'll be tipping Brisbane. From there on, there's a trio of teams that sit very low on the ladder. Richmond, West Coast and North. Now, they could win all 3 of those, and then you're back in.
Yeah, toss of the coin. So I'd go 2 losses, 2 wins, and then the middle one, toss of the coin, Richmond, depending what their like availability
So
with
dream time.
Tom Lynch and Dream Time.
Yep. And then, yeah, because those big rivalry in Melbourne, they can go
Always
either
good
way.
games, yeah.
And then they play Carlton after that. So that's their next 6. So how their next 6 goes decides whether they probably make finals or not.
Yeah, I reckon they need to go 4 and 2 there.
Yeah, that Anzac Day game is going to burn them, I reckon.
Ooh.
That one where that was done, they should have just found a way to keep Collingwood from running out that game.
Yeah.
And that, if they miss it by a game, that's the one that's going to burn
A
them.
bloke we whack enough on this program,
Stringer?
mate, he played one of his 5 Gary Ablett Jr. games.
Yeah.
I was just say, is there a player in the AFL with a bigger gap between their
Nah.
best and their worst?
No,
Because when it's his
Or
best,
their best and their average.
he looks
even.
like a top 5 player in the AFL.
His
when
game
he's
was
on.
his game was probably equal to Hawkins's.
Yeah, but
He kicked
just-
4 and had 28 and
Yeah.
12 clearances
They
and
were already
12
losing
inside
by
I was going to
50s.
say,
No, I get that.
a
but
lot of
like,
it done when
on-
Geelong
on
had put the
paper,
queue in
though.
the rack.
But I think Geelong aren't overly pumped that they got to 100.
Oh, they wanted to,
Essendon.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that like letting their flood. It wasn't deliberately letting the floodgates.
How are you
Open.
feeling about? Oh, we're not doing Geelong
No,
now. We're
not
doing
yet.
them soon. Yeah, okay. I just want to flag Ben Hobbs. We like Ben Hobbs.
Hobbs.
Is he
okay.
sub?
No,
That
not
was the
this
week
week.
before.
He was very good this
Nah, they
week.
let him
Yeah,
go
just
loose.
get him in, mate.
Yeah.
Adelaide Crows. Oh, that's me. So bad kicking's bad football is the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Also, so it just happened to be bad timing, but this often happens where I think Rochelle did a Q&A on the AFL website, Cal Toomey,
Right.
talking about how he wants to be the man to stand up in the big moments.
Yeah.
And then goes out and kicks 0 goals for.
But geez, he's been the improver.
He's been enormous, but it's always when you go out and say something like that, the next game.
Why are you hating Rochelle?
Yeah.
I like Rochelle. I love the Crows.
We love Rochelle.
If I could be any young player in the comp, I'm going to Rochelle.
Rochelle?
Oh, shit, yeah.
Good name too.
Josh Rochelle, good looking.
Looks like...
Tan. It looks like he tans easily.
And because he's in a
Kicks
smaller
goals.
market, like he'd be the king of
Yeah.
Adelaide.
Oh,
You know what I mean? He'll be the
Fat,
king.
there's a club called Fat Controller, so downstairs, or he'd be just
In
that'd
there.
be his area. He'd have his own little booth.
Is that
I've had a cracker night out in Adelaide,
it the
actually.
Fat Controller?
Very good fun.
Yeah,
Bender.
Adelaide's good-
For a
good
couple of
show.
nights. It was just a big circuit.
We're going to not Mad Monday. I was thinking about a show. What is Magic Round? Gather
Next
Round.
year, next year we
Oh,
go.
yeah. We should all go and
Next
do
year we
the
go.
pod
Yeah.
live from
Yeah.
Gather Round.
Next year we go.
Can we
Let's
get
do it.
someone to pay for that?
Surely.
Yes, I don't know where, but we
South
will.
Australian Government, Tourism South Australia. If you're talking, we've
Hit
got
us
a
up.
captive audience.
If Isaac Rankin's running into that goal 100 times, how many times does he kick it?
Yeah, 105.
Well, he missed one.
I know.
So,
Just on that side of your foot's a hard kick.
yeah.
When you're running that way,
He's
you've
so
got it-
skillful,
you've
I
got
just
it-
assumed it's
well,
going
his
in.
So many of
first
these
goal
little
he kicked,
things.
he went with the
At-
banana, and he also had inside him was Keys for the handball to run into the
Oh,
open goal.
what about Tex Walker burning?
Well, Keys got done twice. He got
My
done by Tex, and then
goodness.
got Rankins was worse if you saw it because Rankins man came
Rankins
to it.
was
that
very
was
bad.
that was the pressure.
And if
They're
you're
both
Ben,
bad.
Ben
Yeah.
Keys, who probably lives his life on 1 year deals, he's sitting there going, boys.
Ben Keys is going. I've
just ruined my life.
I've kept Dacos from being best on ground.
Yeah.
I kept him to maybe 17 or
Yeah.
18 touches. Minus
How
the
about a
kick-ins.
little gravy for me?
Just let me smash one through.
But Tex does that often, right? We
Wages.
see him just burn blokes 85 metres out. Tex, you're not 23 anymore, mate.
But he still kicks a lot.
You're not kicking at 90 metres, all right?
Leave Tex alone, mate.
Nah, that
Geelong.
was not okay.
Geelong.
That's probably me. Let me have a look. What have I got down here? Paddy Dangerfield,
Oh, Adelaide danger.
brilliant. So if he makes All Australian this year, he'll be a 9-time All
Is that the
Australian.
most?
It'll be the most ever.
Is that the
By
most
himself,
ever?
stand alone.
I believe so. Yeah. There's
So
a lot.
there's
There's
a
a
lot.
few.
There's a few on eight.
There's a few eights.
Yeah.
He'd be the only 9, I think.
Who's the eight? How many Gary Ablett Jr.?
You talk.
now we- now
you
we're gonna
talk.
He probably
look
had
it up.
3 or 4
What do they
his
say?
first
Never
few
ask
years.
a question you don't know the answer to. Tom
Did they
Hawkins.
say that?
You know he's 15th in
Point of questions?
all-time goal kickers.
He could play to his 40.
Tom Hawk, yeah. That's what I was going to say. So he's 15th already. That's with...
He was dead start of the year too, according to a friend close to the Hawkins camp.
Really quickly.
Never coming back.
Gary Ablett Jr. 8, Danger 8, Franklin 8, Robert Harvey 8, Rashudo 8.
Who surprises you most out of that group?
Rashuda?
Rashudo.
Well, probably the next
Very
one.
good player,
Probably the next
yeah.
one at 7, Craig Bradley.
No, he's a good player,
Jesus.
Craig Bradley.
Rashudo.
It's funny they're all in the same.
Yeah.
What does that tell you that they're all
Same
in the same
era.
patch?
Nathan
Yeah.
Buckley is
People-
the next one,
yeah.
7, and
Yeah.
Wayne Carey 7.
It just tells you we all just like have the same opinions these days. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. So back on Hawkins, 15th for goals currently. By this time next year, he'll end up around 10th, 11th all time.
What's he on?
He's on 754. Now, I was looking up and down the list. And I was like,
Does he
who's
get to 1,000?
he'd have to play
Run
5 more years. Right, who surprises you on the list is what I was trying to find yesterday when I was looking up and down.
Right, so what's the question again?
So
All-time
Hawkins,
games.
Hawkins at 754 goals.
Goals.
How many do you reckon Sav Rocker kicked? By the way, in 80 games less than what Hawkins has played now.
So
754
Hawks, yeah.
for Hawk.
What, 8, 10?
Sav kicked 748. So
I
only
was
6
gonna go
goals less.
699, yeah.
So he was in front of Hawkins with 80 less games
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
Isn't that I loved Sav Rocker, but
Sav had some big Anzac days, didn't he?
huge. He had a lot of big days.
Yeah.
And the other
Jack
one I was
Dawson
quite
Day.
surprised about.
Was that
Nah,
Anthony?
Barry Hall.
Yeah, no, Barry Hall went.
746 in another 50 games less than Hawkins.
So do you know what it says to me? Imagine if Hawkins played back then.
And also, imagine if Hawkins had been more selfish. Because there might not be a more unselfish full forward that's ever played.
Before we go on too quickly, are we starting to work out the key position forwards are stronger and more athletic than rucks? The rucks go down to these stoppages in the back line, in the forward line, and the key position forwards just spit them out.
and Hawkins
Yeah.
is a tree.
Darling does it now. Tex Walker does it now. I mean, hardly.
Are they all doing it well?
Yes.
Hawkins-
Yeah,
Watch for it now. Watch for
Hawkins
it.
is doing it
No,
very
I've always been on Hawk as the best ruck in the comp.
We're at Carlton.
I got the Blue Baggers and Rhino. What I say is I walked into the box.
Walked into the Triple M box on Saturday night and said, geez, I reckon this could be a hunch.
Oh,
Could be 100.
Called it.
Yeah, I called it, and for a couple of reasons. their game style lets you bash up on witches' hats. Hence why I think they had 6 over 30. This weekend is their barometer game. Like Brisbane,
Yep.
Friday night.
It's in Melbourne though, right?
Yep, that's fine.
It swung.
That's fine.
The favouritism swung a few times as well.
Yeah, that's fine. Because they started to do things that you couldn't do against a good team. You know, chip, handball. Looks awesome on tape, but I reckon deep down it's not what they needed.
No, Brisbane pressure.
A percentage boost, fantastic. All their players are in good form now. You can't say there's any midfielders in bad form. They've all had 35. Chera, I've been a little bit harsh on Chera.
He's in really good form.
But they all are. Yeah. Like, you can't pick one that's going... Like, Akers is in outstanding form. I gave Akers 2 votes on the weekend.
Carlton are they have been for 18 months. They're the club that you can't look at the numbers because their stats are through the roof.
But I think that makes their game style susceptible to getting done by the good team.
I agree. But
so
it's also people going, Akers is averaging 33.
Yeah,
but Carlton possess the ball so much.
They play a version of what Fremantle do, but with more of the talented players. So they all go chip sideways, backwards. Their most important, I think, like not the glitz and glamour forwards, like the Charlie, Sard. Take the forwards out.
Oh, yeah, no, very
I reckon Sard.
Yep. Because he's the one guy.
It doesn't muck around. He's got speed, 80-metre, 90-metre player. So look, you look at Cripps, spectacular player. Sammy Walsh is a spectacular player.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're beautiful players in there. I just think that the most important now to help them with not doing the muck around is Sard.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
The line-breaking halfback, or the one who they come up to the stoppage, they don't even worry about a player. Someone else is going to get their player, push up to the stoppage, break the lines. It's crucial these days.
Carlton or Brisbane?
This week?
Yep.
It's the kind of game Carlton wins, isn't it?
I'd say, I'm leaning slightly towards Carlton, but
I'm going to take
$1.90 each way.
I'm going to take Brisbane, I think.
I'm going Brisbane.
Yeah,
I'll go Brisbane.
Oh, now I've just whipped away from the page. Port Adelaide. This is me. The thing that I came away from that game thinking was this is the most balanced they've looked in a while. Like, they don't need Travis Boak to be best on ground. They don't need Connor Rose.
Although he was. Yeah.
Although he was.
Well, they did need that.
Didn't hurt. But now they've
exactly what they needed. Horn Francis was, but yeah.
Horn Francis was, and Butters had a very solid game. Like, they're pretty even across the board.
Missed a pretty important goal.
Geez, you're hard on Butters.
There's still one way you hate Butters.
He's so hard on Butters.
Because he ruined your fantasy.
Wasn't fantasy, it was real life.
He ruined some other stuff.
I really like what I'm seeing there from them. Jeremy Finlayson spending more time up forward as opposed to...
Tip of the hat, I think we've said it a few times, Jeremy Finlayson. There's a lot of stuff going on with his life.
Did he take 9 intercept marks in that last minute? It felt like 9. Every time St Kilda went forward, there was Jeremy Finlayson just sitting there.
No, he's had an outstanding... So it's funny when injuries create opportunity or whatever.
Yeah.
When Dixon was out and Marshall got skittled, he's the man.
Yep.
At Sydney when they played Sydney and won up there, he was the man taking the one-hander at the end, kicking the goal.
Yep.
All of a sudden, we're not balancing Georgiades, Dixon, Marshall, no ruckman, so he has to play a ruck for he's actually
Do you know who he physically kind of reminds me of? Is Jared Brennan.
Oh, yeah.
It was so weird. He just scooped that ball up one hand.
He was the next Cooter.
He tried to do everything.
He was meant to be the next Cooter.
Jeez, he had all the talent, but it was just so weird.
I would love to know the Jared Brennan story. When he first came in.
From the NT, went to Brisbane, then went to the Gold Coast.
Right? Yeah.
He was one of the recruits.
He was one of the recruits, yeah.
But
had some big games.
Box.
If you look back on his games, I reckon he had a game where he had 25 and kicked 3. He had big games.
Would you be surprised with any answer to the question, where is Jared Brennan now?
No, nothing. Everything and nothing would all surprise me at the same time.
How many games did Jared Brennan play?
I reckon he played 100.
173.
Whoa.
173, did he?
100 goals.
Wow.
There you go. He's currently a coach at the Brisbane Lions.
Is that right?
No, I made that up.
Yeah, okay. That's probably the most surprising answer.
He had a game where he kicked 7 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that on the Gold Coast?
It was against Collingwood.
What year?
Playing for Brisbane in 2007.
He was number 2 draft pick or something, right?
That's amazing.
No, I don't reckon he was that.
No, I think he was pretty high.
I reckon you might be right. He was pretty high.
We're just going to devote the next 5 minutes to Jared Brennan.
Can we extend?
Yeah, extend just the Jared Brennan discussion.
This game, he had 15 touches, kicked 7. 7 goals, 5, mind you.
Who against? Collingwood.
Yeah. As Collingwood playing for Brisbane.
He was definitely a
Pretty
number 2
remarkable.
pick.
He had a couple of games where he had 31 disposals.
That's the third pick.
Oh, and third.
4 games of 30 disposals or more. Kicked 4 goals 4 times. Jeez, he was pretty handy. I think we forget.
If anyone out there knows what Jared Brennan's doing now,
Because Jared Brennan, he's one of those guys that you're
hit
like,
us up on Instagram.
great career, but we didn't know what to expect. We expected really high things.
He could have been the greatest, like the best player in the comp at one stage.
correct. He had that. He
Is
had
it
that.
end of round 1 compensation pick they got him?
Right.
They got for him when he went to the Gold Coast.
Yeah, right.
When he was at the Gold Coast? I think so. Anyway, all right,
Can
that's
we
the
wrap- are
Jared
we wrapping
Brennan
it up?
discussion.
We're wrapping it
That's
up?
the Jared Brennan
Okay.
wrap up.
Oh, we can move on, Shan. Hit the siren. She's also muted the podcast as well as the
Well,
group chat.
we could have just folded it over because the next name's Brisbane.
Oh, there you go.
Brisbane Lions. So Jared
Is
Brennan.
Jared Brennan their greatest? Rank him in the top 5 players of all time.
Did he miss out on the premierships by much?
I reckon he.
He would have come in just after that.
Yeah, because
like
I
in
remember
the-
thinking they got. We're still doing Jared Brennan. I remember thinking that he came in and like, wow, they got this great young
Yeah.
player just after they've had this
Yeah.
amazing era.
So Jared Brennan, he started playing.
No,
in
2002 national draft. Yeah.
So he could play in the premiership.
He could have.
Did
He
he?
played round 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12.
Didn't play in the.
Nah, and then 2004 when they lost, he played rounds 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then missed the end of the year. It was 7-2 record. There you go.
He was
Here's the
close.
draft. Brendan Goddard, Daniel Wells, Jared Brennan,
Oh, that draft.
Tim Walsh. I remember Tim Walsh. Jared McVeigh, Stephen
Walsh.
Salopek.
Carlton? Was it Carlton? Or Bulldogs?
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs.
Yeah.
was he the-
Andrew Mackey,
How was Tim Walsh, Queensland?
Northern Knights.
No.
There you go.
I was trying. Who was that? Who was the Queensland tall Bulldogs defender? Pick 6 in the Griffin draft. Ryan Griffin, where it went Delidio, Roughhead, Franklin.
that guy. Jared Grant?
Nah.
No?
Nah. It went Delidio.
Mitch Thorpe?
No, that went
that
to
was the fourth one.
Delidio, Roughhead, Griffin,
Tambling was in
Franklin, and then pick 6 was Bulldogs. Centre half back.
Let's have a look.
Had shoulder problems.
Stand by.
Had a lot of shoulder
Stand by. It was
issues.
Delidio at 1.
Yeah.
Jared Roughhead at 2. Ryan Griffin at 3.
Three.
Richard Tambling at 4.
Oh.
Lance Franklin at 5.
Yes.
You had to kick yourself.
Williams.
Tom Williams.
Yes, I got
Tom
it. I
Williams.
got it before you.
On the buzzer.
Was pick 7 and 8 pretty good
That's
as well?
Jordan Lewis
at 8.
and John Mason at
There you
8.
go.
Well, and Tom Williams had never played football, basically.
Hey,
is that right?
just
That's
get
good.
Tom Williams from Queensland. And,
Yeah.
and then the year after, or 2 years after, they drafted another Queenslander, John Williams, who's Em's cousin,
Get
who
out.
played one game at Essendon.
There you go.
I'm just going to quickly say Brisbane win the flag. Keep going. Bang.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we've already hit the
Mark that down. Timestamp
I
that.
said that at the start of the year.
Flag.
All right. So, yeah, I think
There
I had
we
him
go.
at the start. St Kilda.
Oh, right.
Thinks he's breaking.
Oh, this is me. This is one I wanted to know about St Kilda. So, look, I'm gonna cop it now. I've come around on St Kilda.
I'm going the other way.
No, but they're
Oh,
actually
big
fun to
games.
watch. In
Yeah.
terms of like, I was
Yeah, they are fun.
never going to watch a St Kilda
Yeah.
game, and
Do you know
now
who makes them fun?
who the big man up
Sinclair.
forward?
No, Sinclair. He just goes fast.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't allow the game to stop.
And Mitch Owens.
But in terms
I
of
love Mitch
you know
Owens.
the teams that slip into kicking, like he does a
He
bit
just
of
goes,
chip,
yeah.
but
Give it in.
he gets the mullet going.
The one I want to know is how do we feel about Jade Gresham? So clearly they will fold him through as a clearance player for the last little bit. They wanted him to be that midfield forward mix. I think Ross has just said no thanks. I'm going to sort of midfield out my way. You're a small forward. But he's gone all right. He's 21-2 on the weekend. He kicked an important one late. Not that it was super important in the end, but he's averaging the least disposals he has since, I think it's 2-3 years, or since the 2020 season where it was a truncated one. But he's on track for his third year, kicked 30-35 and then pushed up the ground. He's kicked 8 so far this year, but he missed a couple of games as well. Like he's on track to get back to that number. This has gone very long intro here.
Sam and I look
don't
at each other like, oh, what's he talking about?
This is the only one I've done research. What do you think of him?
He's
Like,
done
what's he
so
going to be?
much. He's done nothing on anything else, and he's
But
just
then
spent
Jade Gresham.
4 hours researching
So
Jade
what
Gresham.
do we think he's going
I
to
thought
be?
Jade Gresham was pretty good 2 weeks ago. I thought he turned the corner a fraction. He's copped some heat over East for his form.
Is he?
I think Jade Gresham, if he left St Kilda and went to Geelong last year or something, he would have been an extremely important piece because he's got great skill and ability.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's your top 5 player in their team.
I love Jay Gresham, and I think he is a top 5 player in their team.
But yeah,
No.
they're not treating him
in
like
a
that.
premiership team.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
They're not treating him like that at St Kilda. Like they're not giving him.
No,
the shots in the
he's
middle.
just
He's
Just a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's just a guy. He's not much different to the way they treat Dan Butler or Jack Higgins.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
I think
Yeah.
there's a better ceiling for Jade Gresham, but maybe it's not under Ross. Maybe Ross doesn't like him.
The other interesting one is Billings.
We talk about those two together all the time.
Yeah,
don't we?
Because they're both small.
Yeah.
They're talented.
and they came in
we thought they were
together.
talented.
Paid through the roof too.
So Billings has been in the VFL. He's got to come back in at some point, right?
Let me check.
Oh, I don't know.
He has
Does he?
to, doesn't he?
Or does
Yeah,
he
he
just
certainly
go?
does. Certainly
Well,
does.
you can't. I mean, and I'm sure Ross has thought I can get something out of this.
He would see him as an asset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would have Billings before Gresham at that stage.
Really?
Gresham for
I'd
Billings.
take Gresham.
Melbourne.
That's me. Let me get to my little term page over here. Cozzy Pickett's staying on. 4-year deal.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm really happy. As much as I like the idea of trades and it can be fun to speculate, I think it's great to see great players stay at their clubs. And
Great
Cozzy,
players.
well, I think Cozzy Pickett's going to be a great
I
player.
don't know. Can you
I was gonna
imagine?
say, I just had to wind back the great player.
Can you imagine if he?
I think he's going to be great.
if he went to Adelaide.
Imagine that forward line.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You wouldn't
Or
want to drop the ball. Don't drop the
Rochelle.
ball.
Even Port, though, like you're putting him next to Junior Rioli running around.
That was the one, the
Far
candy
out.
on the weekend, the candy swap
Junior?
foots.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you put Cozzy in any team and you're excited?
But those-
Like if I
yeah.
tell you he's going to play for Carlton, you'd be like, oh, geez, that's interesting.
Imagine him at Curno's
Yeah,
feet.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what if the Gold Coast got Pickett? You'd be like, oh, that changes everything.
I think we're very high on Pickett for
Yeah.
output at the moment, but I think he could be an All-Australian small forward
yeah,
for the
yeah.
next
I know what you're saying. We're all buying a lot of shares,
And
but
do
I
you know
feel like
why?
they're going to come off.
As well, because he showed that game round 1 before he killed someone,
Yeah.
Bailey Smith.
Or he did the 2-foot plan in the head.
Before he should have got 2 years jail, not 2 weeks. I still can't believe that got 2 weeks, and then the following
All
like
the swing
month,
tackles have been getting 2 weeks as well. Yeah.
and getting sent to the tribunal and
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, because he's going, I'll freshen up for 2 weeks. No, I think he's going to be an exceptional player. I love it. How the balance of midfield and forward will work. I don't know what his engine is, but I don't know. I don't want him to get too sucked into. Like Cyril was so perfect that he'd do maybe 5 centre bounces a game at his peak.
Yeah.
I don't want to
also-
see the time he's doing 10 or 12.
It's also really good from him. Obviously, it's good for Melbourne because they get to keep him. But sometimes I reckon
He's
when
spent some money.
Yeah, I know. When clubs have that year when they win a flag and they contend for a few, other clubs start coming for everybody.
You fish out the try and fish out the bottom 10.
Correct. Well, or even pinch a star. I mean, Jackson going. What it says to me is that Melbourne is still going to be good for a few years. Losing Jackson then Pickett would have started to be a little bit like.
They've got an
whoa.
asset. What about the asset that's coming their way with the
Yeah,
draft
great.
pick?
No, great.
Like what?
Oh, from Freo.
They'll flick that surely.
2 draft picks.
But like, yeah, but wouldn't
Like,
they'll
second
flick
round,
them?
yeah.
Well, they'd flick the pick 7 or whatever.
You'd
it's
want to
gonna
if
be.
you're in the wind, unless you think you can compete with this team. Which
No,
they
but I
probably
reckon,
can.
but if you're Oliver and Gorn and
You
Petrarca,
wanna
you
get
probably
another
owe it
body
to
in.
them to go like Hawthorn. They never cared about.
And you want a
that.
body
It's
in the
just-
forward line, right?
Yeah.
It depends on the draft too. Like if it's some super draft, you're like, we'll just take the player.
Well, Ben King comes out. Oh, we've got pick 7 next year. This one, that one.
Take the lot.
Here's a whole package of stuff.
Just take it. Yeah.
All right, and on to the league leaders, Collingwood.
Collingwood. Are you envious of Collingwood supporters?
Yeah.
Like, I would love to sit watching them play and be actually invested.
Do you know the
in-
good thing for me is I don't actually support anyone now.
No,
At all.
nah.
So I've just decided I'm always going to watch Collingwood games.
No, so am I. But can you know?
So I'm
you
a Collingwood fan
You know,
now.
you see,
For the year.
you see the fans, and I love like the slow mo camera when sirens go and they're punching the air.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing to have that.
Oh,
Feeling.
to be that
Yeah.
invested.
To be that invested,
Yeah.
that makes you a week. Like
Yeah.
I've seen a TikTok yesterday of a dad when the ball went forward. He went like that with his hands, like punched the air, and his 3-year-old son walked through and he clocked his 3-year-old son in the head. He's cuddling him. Sure, gun. So Steele's about to kick
Was
that.
the weekend the stop filming me kid as well? Who was like crying like stop filming me?
Could have been. I didn't see that. But just quickly before we run out of time, Josh Dacos. We talk a lot about Nick.
Yeah.
Josh Dacos is the best wingman in the competition.
Josh
That
Dacos?
wings.
Josh
Dacos. He's going to be the All-Australian wingman. That's going to be one of the first positions.
They don't
picked.
pick wings.
No, they do now.
Oh, do they?
Yep.
Josh.
31, 30,
He was
30.
in the squad last year,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
I think so. Did he get in?
No, I don't think so.
So the last 3 weeks, for example, 31, 30, 30, they've got one player that's kicked over 10 goals.
Oh, really?
Is that all?
One player.
Myji?
Bobby Hill?
Brody Mychek.
Yeah.
Over
When was
10.
the last time
Bobby's
we
kicked
had 2 brothers in an All-Australian team? The first one that jumps to my head is the Corns brother. Did they do it together at any
I
point?
don't think Kane was All-Australian that many times.
Nah,
was
he would have had to be at least once.
Kane Corn's career is
He
unbelievable.
won 6 best and fairest.
It's insanely.
No. He's all Australians.
Well, no one talks about his career anymore
Really?
because he's become the face of
And you remember
new media.
But you remember Chad being the big dog.
I reckon they were all Australian together.
You reckon?
I reckon.
The Scott boys wouldn't.
You go to Kane.
Yeah, I got Kane.
I'll go to Chad. All right.
So how many All Australians you have?
What do you have, 4?
I reckon Kane
2 All Australians.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
But 4 best and fairest,
Yeah, a
300
lot of best
games.
and
Okay, what year was he All Australian? Chad, Kane.
2005.
And?
7.
Yeah, 07. Together.
7,
Both
the
in them
boys.
7.
04 and 07 for the Chad.
What happened? The grand final where they got
Done by 100.
railroaded.
Yeah, so
You
that's.
beat them down at Cardinia
There might be
Park 2
another
weeks
time
earlier,
that we're
rail.
forgetting, but I don't reckon there's been too many sets of brothers that have been
Well,
All
what
Australian.
brothers have been good?
Were there 2 Geelong? Were there
The
twins at
Selwoods
Geelong back
never
in the
quite
day?
got
Nah.
there. No. Yeah. No, Nathan Ablett never got to that
The
spot.
Kernos aren't getting there.
No, the Kernos. Yeah, I reckon there's
Nathan
the
Ablett.
Danahers probably did it.
There would have been a sure.
It was probably was that many of them?
Yeah, back in the day there would have been some.
A couple of Danahers.
You have a lot of cracks at it.
Yeah, and they'd be also same side, just like the Corns brothers and father-son. Were the Corns brothers father-son picks? No, just a coincidence.
No, because their dad was,
The dad-
It was the other
a
side.
massive Adelaide person.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about, hang on, little tricky one.
There we go.
What about the Heels?
Brad and Stephen.
I don't think Stephen was ever
never
Australian.
Australian. And was Brad? Maybe once.
Yeah, maybe once. Maybe not. Dude, that's a good question. Brad Hill's got, obviously, the better career in terms of accolades, but who would you say was the better footballer?
Oh, Stephen was silk.
Yeah.
Stephen was. If he didn't have those injuries, my goodness, he was such. I mean, Brad's a really good player, but Stephen for sure. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think so.
What about Dane Beams and Clay Beams?
No.
That was just the first one that popped up.
What about the
Brad and
the
Matt
Guthrie?
Crouch,
What about the
no.
Guthrie boys?
Matt Crouch was Australian.
Zach hasn't quite got in the conversation.
No,
for
I
Australian
do
yet.
like Zach Guthrie though.
Zach's all right.
No shade for Zach Guthrie.
No, he's all right. He's filled out.
Are we doing our boys?
Our boys.
What you gonna do?
I'm so invested in finding all Australian brothers. I'm not getting a
We've
lot.
lost Zave.
All right, what do you got, Rono?
Well, Jordan Dawson was very good again. I'm not going to remove him from that spot based on that performance. And I didn't shaft Errol, did I? I put him to the back seat.
He was in the runner-up spot.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep him there. I'm not changing
You're not going to
anything.
move.
No, I'm really happy with my boys. I
All
need
right.
to start. I mean, Noah Anderson is clipping at the heels because
Yeah.
I do love Noah Anderson.
Yes, we do.
But
like
I'm
that,
going
Noah.
to keep those boys as is and put Noah. Just going to let Noah know that, hey, keep going, mate, and you never know. You could find yourself on the podium.
All right, Dave, what do you got?
Well, I'm gonna make leave mine at Sicily.
Still?
Yeah, he's in town, mate.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah.
Oh,
Coming
of
around
course.
the house.
Yeah, you going to have him around?
I'm popping down on Friday.
What are your arrangements for Hawthorn? When Hawthorn come to town, is there still anything you
Premiership
get involved?
star. Do you do the pre-game?
Go to the hotel and hang out in the lobby? Do you like catch up with anyone for a sandwich? You know, like I walked in here and you and Nick were sharing a sandwich.
It was
You
a
know,
large
do you
sandwich.
buy a sandwich and then
Can-
give
can
the
I-
other
can-
half to someone like Luke Bruce? Is that what you do? Like you did with Nick today?
No. I just sit there and enjoy the journey.
So you don't get involved at all?
Nah.
Because last time they came,
If
you
I was-
went down and you did some sort of speech or something.
Yeah. No, I'll go to
And
training.
the time before that, they all chanted that you were fat on the field.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
the pricks. No, I'll go to training on Friday.
Yeah.
Take
Do you get
training?
invited? Or do you
Yeah,
go
invited
down? Is
down,
it a
yeah.
nuffy thing?
No, invited
you're
down.
invited. Yeah.
Probably more likely to catch up with coaches, to be honest.
Who's there?
Well, Dave Hale, Mitch, those
Right.
guys.
Yep.
Yeah, no, mate.
Can I do my backup?
Yeah, who's your
Yeah.
backup?
Because I'm going to ride this bloke, right? And I hope he's not even in the team at the moment.
Oh, this is
okay.
a left field.
This is left field.
Okay.
Fremantle player.
Oh,
Who's not?
Corbett.
Josh Corbett.
Josh Corbett.
Josh
I
Corbett.
want him in the side.
This
and
is real Nick Rynne areas.
Josh
Yeah.
Corbett.
This is
I
serious
want him
Nick
in the
Rynne areas.
side.
Did
Nah.
you have him too? Did you want
I
him
didn't
too?
have Josh Corbett. He's not in them.
Josh Corbett.
Yeah, no, he's got to come in, and I'm going to root for him because they need a forward. They need a forward, and I want them to be better than what they are. Maybe not this week, but I want Josh Corbett.
Someone put something in your Pepsi?
No, I was talking to Fraser McGuinness about it the other day.
You lay off that rash cream. It's doing
Yeah, it's
something.
done.
with you.
I shouldn't have smoked it. No, we're talking about Corbett, and he's the nicest man I've ever interviewed on radio.
Oh,
ever.
so, yeah, that's what's happened here. He's talked to him.
No,
once.
he's the one.
Yeah,
He's
right.
surprisingly going to be the one that turns a bit of shit form around
Okay.
to Big Corby. Bang, get him in.
All right, start the
All
campaign.
right, fine. He was a sub. He was a sub once, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
Do you want me to
once.
ask Longmill tonight?
What
Why
about Josh
is
Corbett?
Josh Corbett not in the side?
So hold fire, because actually I'm going to do two. It's either Tracy
Or Corbett.
or Corbett,
What, you're picking both of them as your boy.
whoever comes in the team.
Okay.
This
All right,
is
we'll
his
just put
way.
an either
He's
or.
trying to win the Fremantle people back.
Oh, no,
After
actually-
years of bashing Fremantle.
Kool-Aid.
No, remove that. Remove that.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a Hawthorn player just to stick it into him. Sicily and Reeves.
Big Ned.
Now, if Corbett plays, Corbett's my man.
All right, we'll put it in.
Go down to Peel on
over
Sunday and have a look.
this guy's been my runner-up a couple of times, but he comes in after the weekend, and we spoke about him a lot. Toby Green.
Yeah.
Toby Green takes the crown.
So you guys are just
Isaac
mucking
Rankins,
around with
number
the top
two.
end of town.
Nah, I'm going to change it next week.
Get down around them, bloody get in the muck with me.
Man, I had Zach Fisher as a runner. As the next in 1 week.
Yeah.
Ben Hobbs he's on the radar.
Ben Hobbs
he's
is
on the
coming up.
radar. I like it.
All right.
Come on, Corby, get in the team. Just get in. Otherwise, Mitch Lewis is my man next week.
All right.
He was unbelievable.
He's
early
good.
for
He
us.
can't play.
Really
What was
good
wrong
hands.
with him? What was he out for? Back?
Rash.
Knee? Rash.
So
You're going to take him down the rash cream?
So, yeah, I'm going to drop the rash cream
He
off
goes
too.
down on Friday.
Just give
Hey,
everybody
mate,
a rash cream.
I've got a bottle of this stuff. Just rub it on.
Rub it on. Hard to tackle too. It's
Do you want half my sandwich?
Yeah. This has been the Hardball Gets AFL show, proudly brought to you by the Mazda BT50. You do ute. We'll see you next time.